People of Gillinor, welcome to the first episode of Keepin It 100, a series where I'll be completing every boss in old school RuneScape exactly and only 100 times on an Ironman account. The goal of this account is to kill every single boss found on the high scores 100 times. The catch? I'm not allowed to exceed 100 kills on any of them as I work my way through a pre-constructed tier list. Now, given that many of old school RuneScape's strongest items demand doing more than just 100 kills of their respective boss in order to get the drop, I'm expecting to miss out on plenty of the awesome gear that most accounts have access to. Some items will have such dismal chances of being acquired due to their rare drop rates, or by having multiple components, yes, I'm talking about you, Soul Reaper Axe, that I've basically written them off as being achievable. This RNG-based limitation should prove to pose different challenges as I work my way through each and every boss found in Gillinor. Now at this point, some of you might be thinking, is this guy really going into the Inferno to slay Zuck 100 times on an Ironman that may not have access to a twisted bow, Bofa, or possibly not even an Armadillo crossbow? The short answer is no. There are 3 pieces of endgame PVM content which stand above the rest. 3 places where only the most skilled RuneScape players dare to venture, and those places are the Inferno, the Colosseum, and the Theater of Blood hard mode. Now, though I will not be getting 100 KC at each of these 3 elite pieces of content, I have decided that a bonus goal for this account will be to complete any one of those only once after I've completed every other boss listed on the high scores. The one I decide to do, whether it be the Inferno, the Colosseum, or hard mode Tob, will largely be based on which gear I have gathered from killing the other bosses. Alrighty, now that we've established the main goals, let's get into these specifics. Here are the rules. No piece of content is considered complete until I get all 100 kills or completions. Now this applies to every boss and activity listed on the high scores, minus the 3 elite pieces of content I mentioned earlier, along with the Mimic and Jad, for obvious reasons. Content with multiple difficulties, i.e. Gauntlet and Corrupted Gauntlet, Chambers of Xeric and Challenge Mode Chambers of Xeric, Nightmare and Fasani's Nightmare, etc., are tracked separately, and as such require 100 completions respectively. I am not allowed to exceed 100 kills or completions of any boss or activity that has its progress tracked in the collection log. For example, Tormented Demon's kill count is tracked by the collection log, and as such, I am limited to 100 KC. Basilisk Knights, however, are not tracked in the log, and therefore, I'm allowed to kill more than 100 of those. With most of the good drops in the game coming from bosses and activities with a collection log, I feel this is a good limitation which draws a clear line as to which content I will be capped at. Okay, how can I start a new account without doing the iconic cook's assistant? Chef here, he needs a cake, and we're gonna get him what he needs to make that cake. As you can see, his ass is virtually completely flat. He's got one of the flattest asses in Gillinor. Let's get this man a cake. Now that Chef's all caked up, I'm going to finish off some more free-to-play quests, mostly out of habit. That sheep shearer done. Oh, there we go. Restless Ghost complete. I got level 9 prayer. That definitely beats Bearing Bones, that's for sure. I always forget how unfun it is having level 1 agility. I should probably make a pit stop at the Gnome Stronghold before I continue to quest here. Okay, the best in slot boots have been obtained. Now I am off to Varrock, where I will pick up some runes and hopefully do the witch's house. It definitely goes without saying, but The first episode of this series is going to be a lot of basic day one new account items, such as getting my agility up, crushing out a handful of quests and whatnot. I expect by episode 2 we'll really start to get into the meat of things. That's when I'll introduce the tier list and go into that with a little more detail. And I'll really start looking to progress towards getting my 100 kills of every activity on the high scores starting then. And that's Ernest the Chicken. So this is actually going to be my first ever real Ironman, other than like leagues and stuff. I did try to start a group Ironman a couple years ago with some buddies of mine. However, it ended as most group Ironmans do, and we stopped playing shortly after we started. That being said, I'm pretty hyped to give PVM a go on the Ironman account, and especially with these added restrictions. Okay, there's Witch's House done. I've got some HP XP, thank God, too, taking me all the way from 11 to 24. That is absolutely massive. Now I should have no problem trekking the Ice Mountain over here. White Wolf Mountain, sorry. In order to get my agility level up, right? I got to make it to the Gnome Stronghold so I don't have 1 agility and have to walk everywhere. Since when can you get Marks of Grace at the Gnome Agility course? I mean, I'm not going to complain. I didn't know that was in the game, though. That's cool. Okay, for the sake of being on brand, I've just done 100 laps of the Gnome Agility course. Look at that. And I am on to something new, probably Waterfall Quest. And for your information, 100 laps at the Gnome Agility course will get you to Agility level 28. I also obtained 12 Marks of Grace while doing so. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Well, I am back in Lumbee now. Just pickpocketing to get level 5 thieving, and I also have to finish the Rune Mysteries quest for the Artie Cape. So I'm going to do that, and then I got to make the trek all the way back. So I may have dropped Aubrey's notes, which means I had to go back to Varrock to get them. But I figured while I'm here, I may as well get my thieving up to level 15, Q level 15. There we go. Alright, now I can pickpocket ham members for the Rusty Sword, which is also a requirement for the Artie Easy Diaries. Okay, I got my Rusty Sword. Thankfully that didn't take too long. Now time to finish off Rune Mysteries, and then I have to do Plague City, which requires a few oddball items. Given that my brain does not have sufficient power to teleport to Nightmare Zone, I'm probably just going to get these items as I trek back to Ardoin. And that's Rune Mysteries completed. And that's Plague City complete. With 15 mining. Alright. Big shout out to the quest helper for reminding me that I can take a boat from Remington to Ardoin and back. I no longer have to traverse that ice mountain, and I probably didn't have to do it before, but oh well. And that's Biohazard complete. Look at it, folks. Isn't it beautiful? The fruits of my labor. So much worse getting this on an Ironman, that's for sure. Da 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 da. Okay, great. Druidic ritual complete. Okay, there we go. That's access to the spirit trees. Right on. I'll have to look to get the fairy rings soon. And of course, that's the waterfall quest out of the way. Let's see those juicy levels. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Alright, I'm level 28 combat. We got 30 strength, 1 defense, but 36 attack. Let's see if I have any problems killing this guy. Man, that thing is ugly, dude. Red eyes, horn on its head. The face, too, is like... I don't even know how to explain it. It's like oddly round, and like the jaw, too, is like... looks like it's barely attached. Anyways, I'm having no problems killing this thing. He's going down real quick. I brought way too many cakes for that fight. I think I ate like 2 pieces of food. Okay, that's priest apparel done, and 15 prayer. All right. Well, animal magnetism needs me to go to Port Phasmatis, so I thought I might just crush out the Ghost Ahoy quest real quick before I do animal magnetism. But it turns out there are a crap ton of requirements for this, mostly item requirements, and being on an Ironman, this is going to take me a long time to get. I decided to make a pit stop in Draenor just to get my agility up to 30, as I was on my way to do a clue in Falador. And if I get my agility to 30 here, I can use this lamp on it, which I've been saving. I think it's minimum 30 to use it. There we go. Great. Perfect. That's finally out of my inventory now. Alright, on to Falador to do this clue, and hopefully I get something nice. It's just a beginner clue, but hey, you know what? I would even take like an iron axe at this point. That would be cool. So I decided to stick around Northern Valley after doing my clue to finish off my mini woodcutting / fletching grind. I did happen to get another clue, but decided to drop it due to it requiring multiple pieces of gold jewelry. With that being said, here is level 25 fletching. I can now make an oak longbow, which is a requirement for Ghost Ahoy. I'm not sure if there was an easier way to get the bow, but I figured I was going to need these levels anyways, so the grind wouldn't hurt. Now for the most highly anticipated moment of the episode. Oh, that's actually not bad. I'll take that. For a beginner clue, that's not bad at all. If I ever have to come back to Aggie for more dyes on this account, well, f me in that case. I'm getting enough bones for the Ecto tokens for Ghost Ahoy right now. I figured big bones wouldn't hurt, as I'll get some prayer XP from getting the Ecto tokens, and the better the bones, the better the XP. Also, I have to kill a bunch of hill giants for the giant keys for Obor. I've got 100 Obor to kill, and with a drop rate of, I think it's 1 in 100. That puts me at 10,000 kills for giants. So I'll be here for a while, and the sooner I start, the better. Okay, I'm all out of runes for now, but if we take a quick look at this loot tracker for hill giants, honestly, getting 10,000 kills doesn't seem so bad because I'm going to get some decent drops while I'm here. For instance, they drop law runes and nature runes, which are both a little harder to get on an Ironman and also a little expensive. They drop limpwort roots, which I'll need for potion making. I forget which potions I use them for, but I know that they're needed. The big bones will definitely add up. And I think sweet corn is used for a diary task. And I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I've gotten 3 sweet corn seeds. All right, that is 20 cooking. I can now make nettle tea, which is required for the Ghost Ahoy quest. I now need to string the oak longbow, which is going to require 20 crafting, I think, to make the bowstring. Now, I can grind the 20 crafting out manually, or I can just go do a quest for it, probably Elemental Workshop, and I think I'll go that route. I did manage to get an easy clue while I was fishing as well. This one requires a blue robe top, which I think I can get in Varrock. A ham robe, which I'm going to need for the Dorgashun quest line anyways, as well as a tiara. And I think I can make a tiara with a silver bar and smithing, so that shouldn't be too troublesome. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm also not going to drop it. I opted to do Dorg's quest to help me get to level 30 mining. Once this is done, I will probably grind out the rest of the levels at iron ore, just so I can hit level 30 to mine some coal for the elemental workshop. The level 30 mining will also let me do elemental workshop 2, as long as I get 30 smithing as well. So I think it's definitely worth it to grind it out, just so I don't have to manually do crafting. Thanks to the Wildy Iron Bar spawn, I do not need to farm out 15 levels of bronze smithing. Red berry pie for the Knight's Sword quest. Oh, burnt one. Pro tip for not accidentally eating the red berry pie. Da 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 da. Incoming whack load of smithing XP. Almost 13,000. Yes, please. What does that put me at? 29. That is great, folks. Absolutely wonderful. At the OG Moneymaker, here to get 12 pieces of coal for Elemental Workshop 1 and 2. Back in the day, this method right here would make me stacks. Absolute stacks on stacks. Lo and behold, I'm all here and ready to do the Elemental Workshop. And what do I need? 20 crafting. 20 crafting. So much for skipping the manual grind. I'm going to go get this and come right back. Well, I thought I could get cheeky with early game crafting, but it turns out I cannot. That being said, here comes Elemental Workshop number 1 after getting 20 crafting the long way. And there we have it. Elemental Workshop 2. 7,500 crafting and smithing XP. That is wonderful. I'm now up to 36 smithing and 32 crafting. Not too shabby. I wanted to start working towards animal magnetism, but I figured I should probably get Ghost Ahoy out of the way. It's kind of an annoying quest, to be honest with you, but the ectophile is really nice for getting back here. Alright, to keep a long story short, after Ghost Ahoy, I wanted to do animal magnetism. In order to do animal magnetism, I need a mithril axe. Now, the best place for an iron to get a mithril axe, from my understanding, is from those tree spirits. But to get to the tree spirits, what do I need? The fairy rings. Of course. So I decided to go do Fairy Tale. In order to do Fairy Tale 1, I need to finish Lost City and Nature's Spirit, which I did. Now, during the quest, a little bit of bad RNG here, but I have to get edible seaweed to give to Mortifier, whatever that guy's name is. And the only places for edible seaweed are out of my reach in terms of requirements right now. And, you know, pretty rare drops. Well, not too rare, you know. 1 in 64 isn't bad at crabs. That's what I'm going to do now. I don't have the capacity to kill Dagonoths right now or rock lobsters. So here I am, AFKing crabs. I'm going to get a little bit of XP on the side here, but ultimately I'm looking for edible seaweed. Oh my god, I literally got the edible seaweed after recording that last clip. Oh, that's awesome. I got to make sure not to eat this. No, wait. This isn't edible. So it turns out rock crabs drop regular seaweed and edible seaweed separately. The model for the item is the exact same, so I just got baited super hard. Given that this seaweed is a 1 in 64, I decided to do a little upgrade here. Look at that. Now that is sexy. Finally, I got the edible seaweed. And I got 2 of them, just in case I eat one. Okay, Fairy Tale done, and cue the farming levels. 17. I hadn't done any farming up till this point, so that took me from 1 to 17. That's huge. I'm still working away at the requirements for animal magnetism. Now, I have gotten my mithril axe. Now I'm looking for 18 Slayer, which I should get from talking to Orlando here after doing the exhibits. There we go. Oh, okay, I only got 13. I thought I got more experience than that. So I'll have to get up to 18 Slayer, 5 levels. That shouldn't be too bad. I've got to top my range up as well. I have been working on that. I'm at 22, so that shouldn't take much longer. I am repping a willow shortbow, so I should get that crushed out in no time. Oh, and I also need 31 prayer because I need to bless my holy symbol. There's a guy in Edgeville that will do it for me, but in order to access him, my prayer needs to be at least level 31. All right, almost there. All right, the first Giant's Key on the account. I'm going to need 100 of these to kill Obor 100 times. So I'm glad we finally got started on that. Okay, using the big bones from the Hill Giants to get myself up to 31 prayer. So I decided to do a little bit of Wildy Slayer. I've never actually done Wildy Slayer before, so I figured I'd give it a go on this account here. I'm here killing rogues for level 18 Slayer. Oh, I had 15 left. Come on. So even though I was ejected from the wilderness prematurely, I did in fact get my 18 Slayer, and I am ready to start animal magnetism, finally. And there's the Avas. Alright folks, the Lost Tribe has been completed. I have the bone crossbow along with plenty of ammunition and the Avas, so I should be good to go for a while. We've completed 26 quests this episode, getting us 49 quest points. A lot of these are pretty key quests too in terms of transportation and, certain key items such as the Avas. So I'm ready to go. That's it for episode 1. Starting next episode, we get into the real grinds of doing 100 KC at every boss on the high scores. Let's get it.